Hey there, love. Okay, so let me know if I said your name correctly. It's Poyan, Poyan Lee. Hey, welcome to the Modern University group chat. Great to have you. So you have a couple of questions, okay? Right now it says that you're looking for guidance and pointings. So you're new to modeling and you're currently based in Sweden. Shout out to Sweden. You're looking forward to being able to work from home as a model. Okay, that would be remote modeling. Totally understandable and definitely something that I literally teach models how to do when I work with them hands-on. Now, for you, you're trying to figure out in what ways you can get into the market, where you're most confident in fitness, fashion, and alternative styling. So, first and foremost, I know that you walked me through your fundamentals, which I'll be doing in a second. But the first thing that you want to focus on is making sure that fitness, fashion, and alternative styling are really actually niches. Start there. Okay. There's over 20 modeling niches. And though clearly fashion is definitely a niche and fitness is too, you actually might want to find something else outside of alternative styling because that doesn't really fall into any particular category, right? And if we're going to talk about modeling, we want to keep it up to date and industry, up to industry code, for lack of a better word. Now, when it comes to trying to get into the market, right? The other thing you're going to have to do outside of knowing what niches actually work for you is knowing what works in your market. So it's not enough to know, like, oh, you're in Sweden. What type of modeling happens in Sweden? What type of clientele is located or based in Sweden? Are you going to be working with people who are outside of Sweden? Are you going, because again, you want to do remote modeling. So are you going to be advertising yourself to people who are in the States? Are you going to advertise yourself to people who are in Sweden only? Are you going to look at Europe as a whole? Like, these are things that you have to consider. And then you're going to have to do the research to actually figure out what those markets consist of, what type of clients they are, what type of niches work there. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it's not really a one size fits all. It's going to take a little bit of work on your end to figure out what niches actually fit you and then what niches are working in that market, even if you're modeling remote. Makes sense? Now, when we take a look at your modeling fundamentals, right, or what you provided so far, you've told me why you want to be a model, and you know that you can make an income out of it. And I love that for you, right? Because there's a space for everybody to be a model and anyone could be a model. It's just finding what works best for them. I also love that you have a goal to earn a 5-digit income every 2 months, to sustain yourself and your child financially. I love that you have a kid. There's other models in the university who have kids as well. And I just did a poll recently saying, like, hey, do you guys have kids? Some people said no. I said no, but I'm pretty sure you can now vote yes, which is going to be really cool and really cool to understand. And, you might find another mom buddy who's also a model. Now, even though you have that goal, what I do when I coach models hands on is I actually break down that goal into smaller goals, because the thought of going from, and again, I don't know how much money you're making right now as a model, but I take models from zero to their first 10K. So from zero to their first 5 figures. You don't just jump from zero to $10,000. It is definitely a process. So a lot of models, when they set their goals, they just have their ultimate end goal and that's it. And if you don't know how to set up those stair step goals that make reaching and sustaining that big goal possible, a lot of models get frustrated and they give up. Okay, I'm not saying that's you, but I do want to put that out there, that that is a common occurrence coming from somebody who's coached thousands of models. Just saying. Now, the goal is great. Why you want to do this is great. I think that's amazing. And I love the fact that you want to be an independent model that doesn't need an agency, because doing remote work allows you to do that totally 1,010%. But getting to a space where you're self promoting yourself, again, we go back to the niches that you're picking. Are they really niches? Are they the niches that fit you the best? The markets that you're looking at, what type of work actually works there? Like, these things all layer onto each other, in order for your career to be a success. Because like I say, and I joke with the models who are in the university, I let them know, like, hey, you could be the best swimwear model ever in the history of swimwear models. But if you live in Boise, Idaho, it doesn't matter how good you are, you're going to struggle to really grow your career there. It's just the nature of the game. So I think taking a step back to really realize, not only what niches you want to do, but what niches actually fit you, not just where you want to work and how you want to work, but what works in those areas, and not just what goal you want to achieve, but also the stair step goals that lead up to that. And I if this seems like a lot, I totally understand. It's a lot to cover. It's a lot to know. It's a lot to act on. But again, this is why, one, I give you guys the group chat so that we can talk about these things freely. So you're not, disillusioned with what's really going to happen. So that you can have somebody who tells you in real time, hey, this is how the industry goes. This is the process. This is what goes on. And if you want to actually have hands-on help, you can then get that from me if that's what you want, right? But this is the space where I get to break down to you, hey, if this is what you're trying to get, this is how you get it, right? But to implement that, that is something totally separate. So if you ever want help with the implementation of stair stepping your goals, figuring out what niches actually work for you, not just the ones you like, figuring out how to become a remote model, all those things, let me know. All right. Now, for the rest of the things that you shared with me, again, I'm not going to put everything on blast, because again, that comment was your comment. But I think that I've covered most of the things that you've touched on. I think as you start to get a little bit deeper into how do I promote products, and how do I promote on Instagram, and how do I, get people to send me stuff, and how do I, advertise. I think that's when we start to get a little bit away from modeling, and we get more into UGC, we get more into influencer work, we get more into, just other categories that are model adjacent, not necessarily modeling, right? Just to be brief and to kind of like sum us up here, when you do remote modeling, a company would send you a product, you would shoot the photos of it, send them back the photos, and they would use that on their websites, they would use that on their, social media, etc. When you get into a space where it's now your responsibility to promote the products, it's now your responsibility to put together all these commercials and things that are outside of photos, now we get into content creation. Now we get into UGC. Those things are model adjacent, but that is not modeling. So if that's something that you are envisioning for yourself when you're thinking, oh, I want to remotely model, but that's what you think remote modeling is, I think it's time to take a step back and start to separate what's modeling and what's UGC and what's content creation and what's acting. Yeah, I think we need to take the time to separate those things so that you understand and have a full grasp of, when you say you want to make $10,000 as a model, what it means to do that, right? Even if it's remote modeling, what that actually entails, versus saying, oh, I want to make $10,000 modeling, and then you ask me questions, I give you answers for a model, and lo and behold, you're really trying to do UGC. You're really trying to do content creation. You're really trying to do influencing. You understand what I'm saying? So if doing remote modeling work, as I've described it, is the avenue you want to take, then naturally speaking, of course, I do hands-on guidance for that. But if you're really actually more interested, which is totally fine, if you're really actually more interested in doing UGC, doing content creation, becoming an influencer, then the steps you're going to have to take for that are not something that I can help you with, right? You would have to go and seek help for those avenues separately outside of this group chat, because we focus on what? Modeling. Make sense? All right. Hopefully all that worked. Oh my gosh, it's almost 10 minutes of me blabbing. Listen to this at 0.5, 0.1.5, or two times the speed, whatever you need. But hopefully I've answered all your questions. And if you have any more, definitely don't hesitate to drop them below. All right. Talk to you soon.